This one is kind of interesting. It's we're standing next to a field of spring triticale, which is a mix of rye and wheat. In Swedish we actually call it rågvete, just grey wheat, but the English word is triticale. And the lower part of the field is actually absolutely dominated by this weed. And I know what it's called in Swedish, but I need to find out what the Latin name is and what the English name is. And I also need to find out exactly what the conditions are, the kind of quorum sensing for that will trigger this plant to grow. Because we obviously have probably millions of different seeds in the soil profile here, but for some reason only this one grows and it completely dominates. So I need to find out exactly what are the requirements for this weed, what makes it grow. And so what I've seen so far, I haven't really found all I want to find, but what I've seen so far is an excess of potassium and a deficiency of calcium. So my preliminary plan here is to add calcium, and if I do that I need to put it in together with boron, because I understand calcium without boron is not really a point. You can put on a lot of calcium and see no effect whatsoever, and that's because you haven't added boron at the same time. So this field is going into a cover crop, fall sown cover crop. It's going to be a 7-way mix, and for something else coming in next spring. I haven't decided yet. It may be peas. It's just, you know, John Lennon said, give peace a chance. So that may be the spring crop here. I kind of like this crop though. It's thin up here. This is very sandy soil and it's very thin. But if you look at the heads here, they're kind of nice, and the grains are big. They're too far between them, but when you get a good stand like down there of this, I think you can have a fair yield from it. And it does, if we don't consider this one, it does have a good holding back of the weeds, with this major exception. So it's interesting to see how this field has been completely dominated by this weed. And then we have another field down there which is completely dominated by false chamomile, or mayweed, or Balder's Braw, as somebody also calls it. So it's completely white with Balder's Braw. But I think that is more of an issue of soil compaction. This is also due to soil compaction, but I think the white Balder's Braw is more of a effect of being very heavily compacted soil. And so I'm considering to do a subsoiling there, even though it's an expensive thing to do, but it may be very well worth it. I did that on the field that I have wheat now, and that field I had, like for instance, I had not tons, but I have a lot of wild oats in that field last year, and I just went down there now and saw there was no wild oats whatsoever. And the only thing I have done differently is to subsoil and to plant wheat again, basically. So I strongly believe that subsoiling is one of the most important things you can do, especially going into regen, because there's just the cover crops are the absolute key for going into regen. And in this soil that has been for decades made hard, no organic matter, very compacted, it's like trying to grow in cement. In a conventional setting, you would use heavy machinery, break up the soil, just create soil to earth contact and put a lot of fertilizer on it, and it works. Look at those fields, it looks like plastic down there. That's not mine, that's the neighbors. Conventional farming does work, but it has some built-in vulnerabilities that I think we're going to see more of in the upcoming 5 to 10 years. If we take away all the subsidies, we get warmer and warmer summers up here in Scandinavia. The energy prices are not going down. The fertilizer prices are not going down. Just do a trajectory of all these numbers 5 years ahead, And you will see, maybe today they are laughing at me and they say that's the way to go. I think in 5 years time they will be paying attention. We'll see. Because, but as I said, no-till is a wonderful method, but not for when you're going into regen. You have to get soil to seed contact. You have to make the roots come down to establish the root system in this cement, and the only way to do that is with metal, with soil to seed contact. So some people laugh because I'm different, but I laugh at them because they're all the same.